retweet it or delete it. Speaking of being wrong sometimes, right, guys? We see those tweets out there. Sometimes you look at them and you go, let's retweet that. Sometimes you're like, man, delete that. So Field, for you, is there a tweet out there that maybe we came across that you're like, I would definitely retweet that, or they need to throw that thing in the trash?
Yeah, I mean, here's one that I would not be retweeting, which is that the NFL season is in jeopardy. I get it. Right now, people are a little bit fired up because this Pittsburgh Steelers-Baltimore Ravens game has been delayed from Thursday to Sunday, Sunday to Tuesday, and now Tuesday to Wednesday afternoon. But if you take that situation away, which I know is somewhat unfair, the NFL has been able to play every game so far this season within the week that it was intended to be played, or they've been able to accommodate those games through buys from like the early season games where they were reshuffling the Broncos, Patriots, and the Titans and the Bills amongst other games. And I understand that there are a lot of tentacles to this situation. And I'm not trying to say that the NFL has been above the coronavirus. I will just say that I think the NFL is going to find a way, because the NFL is determined to find a way. There is a ton of money and TV windows and obligations to meet that the NFL, not at the cost of the players' health and well-being, because they have been trying to, as best they can, accommodate as many sort of player concerns as they can. But the NFL is going to find a way to power through this season.
All right, Field, Susan Fitz, you're up.
All right, so I saw a lot of people tweeting about the Browns and how the Browns are going to go to the playoffs. I'm going to delete that tweet all day, every day. The Cleveland Browns, while it's a great story the way the season has gone, will miss the playoffs this year. I'm confident of it. And look, I'll use some of the college football landscape mindset, right? You guys know I work a lot in college football, and one thing that you hear all the time is, who do you play? Who you play matters. Look at the remaining schedule for the Cleveland Browns this year. They have to play the Titans, the Ravens, who already thumped them once, no matter what Baltimore looks like. They got to play the Giants, who are tougher than their record looks like, and they have to play the Steelers. I still find 4 losses on the schedule remaining for Cleveland. The only time that I see that Vegas will definitively list them as the favorite the rest of the year is definitely the game over the Jets and maybe the game against the Giants. Any way you want to look at it, this is a team right now that has not played particularly well in beating the Jags. They didn't play as well as they needed to, even though they got the win over the Eagles. They didn't look great against the Texans. They have feasted on some bad teams, which is fine. But now they are going to have to play some good teams, and in the process, they will be exposed. And as great as it is to see them not have a losing season, that will not be enough to get Cleveland to the playoffs.
A lot of people are all in on Cleveland and what Stefanski's been able to do, that they're gonna finally break out of what's been pretty much misery for the last decade. So you're not all in, but a lot of people are all in on Derrick Henry, guys, being the MVP. Chris Mortensen was on Twitter today, which he's one of my favorite tweeters. He's a little bit of a troll, and I appreciate that from a man that has such credibility. A lot of talk about Derrick Henry being the league MVP, especially after yesterday's performance against the Colts. Only 3 times has somebody rushed for more than 100 yards against this Colts defense in the last 3 years. It's been Derrick Henry every single time. It's obvious that he is, without a doubt, the best running back in the league. We all were talking about perhaps it being Dalvin Cook last week. I wasn't buying that. But here's the thing, guys. I'm not going to retweet this. I'm not retweeting this, Derrick Henry. I don't think you're MVP, because you know why? I think Ben Roethlisberger should be the league MVP. What he's been able to do, coming off the surgery, he's got these young receivers that he's made all of them look like superstars. They're undefeated. They've had to deal with so much this season with injuries, with obviously schedule changes. We're going to see them now on Wednesday, playing at 3:40 Eastern on NBC. So much they've had to battle against, and I think that Ben Roethlisberger, we take him for granted. You give me Big Ben, and you're going to have a successful team. And I think this is the year that we need to talk about him being the MVP.
Take for granted. Sounds like Diana's taking Patrick Mahomes for granted.
You ever heard of that guy Mahomes? He plays in Kansas City. He's pretty good.
Come on, Diana. We'll let it pass on this one occasion, but we'll have that conversation maybe again in a future week. All right, here's my opportunity to come back for more. That Jameis Winston should be the Saints starting quarterback next week. Delete! I did this last week. I talked about how we owe Sean Payton an apology. We, meaning all those out there with the gumption, the gall, to call out Sean Payton and question whether or not Taysom Hill should be the starting quarterback. What did they do last week? They demolished the Falcons. What did they do yesterday? they demolished the Broncos. Now, I get it. Kendall Hinton was starting. But still, Taysom Hill, 2 more rushing touchdowns. I don't care if he barely threw the football. They didn't need to. They did not need to yesterday. I love watching Jameis Winston play football because, as we know, he can both keep you in a game and play you out of a game. As a matter of fact, he keeps both teams in the game every single week. But the Saints are 9-2. They've won 8 straight games. I got a few rules I follow in life. One of them is do not disobey the words of Sean Payton when it comes to quarterback play. I'm deleting this tweet so fast.
I like that. You know what? We'll stay on the quarterback train for my next one, as it's about Jalen Hurts. Obviously, tonight, a lot of people want to tweet out there that the Eagles should be starting Jalen Hurts. Delete it. Delete the tweet right now. Don't send it. Save yourself. All right? All the Eagles will do if they start Jalen Hurts is essentially damage both of the quarterbacks that they have on their roster. The only reason this is even a conversation is because they drafted a quarterback in the 2nd round that had such a great college resume. It was a head-scratching pick at the moment, but you've had no offseason. You've had limited opportunity to get him reps. You've had limited opportunity to get him work, and he would be doing all of this on an Eagles team that, guess what, is bad. Top to bottom, they're not a good football team this year. So you're going to take Carson Wentz out, which is going to destroy Carson Wentz's ability to go out and play. You're going to turn around and you're going to take Jalen Hurts in, and God knows what level of success he's at. If the Eagles do anything by putting Jalen Hurts in to start tonight, all it will be doing is damaging all of their quarterbacks. That's a bad move. Dianna, what do you got next?
I'm actually in agreement with you on that one.
Nice.
Yeah, I am. It doesn't happen often on this show, but it does. So did you guys see earlier today? First of all, coaches were on fire. I don't know what everyone was drinking this morning with their coffee.
They're all working
but
at
I'm sure
home.
you saw. That's what it is. The next 2 days, everyone's working from home. No one's allowed in the facility, and I think everyone gets that cabin fever, right? So we heard Matt Nagy going off crazy. Mike Vrabel was like losing his mind. I'm like, didn't they win yesterday? I don't understand what he's so mad about. But did you guys hear interim head coach Darren Bevel from the Lions today talking about basically what a whirlwind of the last few days? He said, one of the reporters here, Dave Burkett, tweeted, "What a weekend for Darren Bevel." Not only did he get the interim head coach job with the Lions, but 2 of his daughter's boyfriends asked him for permission to marry his daughter. So I read that and thought, that's really sweet and personal. But maybe he should not have let that out because now his daughters know. They didn't ask yet. So Dave, or someone on this call, was a great reporter, and added that Bev said the boyfriends haven't asked the girlfriends yet. And one of the boyfriends asked in the emergency room after he took a softball off the eye. There's so much going on. That's just 3 tweets. So the game here is tweet it or delete it. I am retweeting all of this. This is better than any TV show. There's just a lot going on there. And I feel bad for these daughters. The surprise is ruined.
I was going to say, Dianna, you just got married, right? Like, how would it have struck you if you found out on Twitter that the question was about to be popped?
That's right.
I was really surprised. So the surprise is part of it, right, guys? I mean, you guys have both proposed to your wives before, I think. I think you guys did the whole traditional get down on one knee, ask the father for permission thing.
Yep.
So yeah, the surprise is what made it so fantastic. So I feel bad for them. They're gonna have to come up with another game plan here.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.